From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Lake Worth, Texas. Welcome in, everyone, to the Grandpa and Pappy Show, Wednesday edition. And, Pappy, I hope everybody didn't wash away last night.
Jesus Christ.
Holy mackerel, did we get some rain? It's supposed to get a lot more today and tomorrow, from what I understand.
Got water everywhere in Whiskey Flats, but running out our faucet.
Yeah, and also you got your electricity knocked out.
Yeah.
So anyone out there who is battling trying to get your electricity back and everything like that, good luck.
No, don't come to my house. You'll be disappointed.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. We have an interesting topic today that was suggested to us. Did the conventions sway your vote in any way, form, or fashion?
What convention?
Yeah.
You know me, I don't watch that stuff.
It was the Shriners Convention. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't take that wrong, Shriners. Just kidding. Just kidding. But again, we had some really good comments that were sent in by you. And before we go any further, Pappy and I are taking about a week off to recharge the batteries and enjoy the last part of summer, beginning this Friday and Monday. So we'll be running some
Best
program,
of series, yeah.
best of series, and then we'll be back next Wednesday when we'll be talking about have you witnessed a random act of kindness lately? We'd love to hear your comments. And you know, we're hoping to get quite a few in, but I had one guy tell me the other day,
Not that much kindness going around
that's
right
exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He said, well, I'd like to, but I ain't seen any here lately.
now.
So
Well, one comes to mind. The only thing that my eldest son, Jason, could think of was, he said, I think you ought to brag about your firstborn children.
well, there you go. That sounds like something he'd say, too.
That would be my act of kindness for him. So,
But back to what we were talking about this morning. Of course, the Democratic National Convention was held week before last, and the Republican National Convention was held last week. And I don't care what party you're rooting for, there was a stark difference in those conventions.
well, mainly because they couldn't get Joe Biden to wake up.
Yeah, did you see that video yesterday? A live video.
I've sent it to everybody I know.
What do you got, Karen?
Was that for real, or was that
No, that was real.
It was a
mean,
live
really?
interview.
That was
yeah.
a live interview on a morning show in New York.
Wake up.
He
I
was
mean-
sitting there asleep.
Come on, people. Are you voting just because you are associated with the Democratic Party for a Sleepy Joe?
Well,
Now you know.
Oh my gosh!
Now you know
he
what
didn't
the
have much to
president.
say.
And the news reporter was like, "Well, what do I do?"
Yeah.
And that poor girl, I was like, "Oh, bless your heart."
Oh, he's in deep meditation.
And it's like, "Wake
Yeah,
up,
that's-
Joe! Wake up! We're
must-
on the air."
He must be.
I'm surprised they
He
didn't.
must be in deep meditation. Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't come out and take his pulse or something, man.
That was hysterical, I'm telling you.
Hilarious.
But our topic today, did it sway your vote in any way after watching the two conventions? So, hey, Pappy, let's just jump right. that video's still on my brain.
I like fell out of my chair. On
I
that
watched
one.
it twice. I'm just going, you know, having been interviewing people like that, I could just see what would happen if I was interviewing somebody and they were asleep.
Awkward.
Man, Lord have mercy. Let's look at what you said.
Okay.
As far as did it sway your
Once
vote?
again, they stepped up.
They did, indeed, Pappy. Leon Martin says no, it didn't change his mind. It's always been an easy choice for me. Continue making American great again. And to which Twyla Richards said absolutely.
Yeah. Big Jerry Blum chimed in by saying no way whatsoever. And Jerry Diane Glazer agreed by saying no. Trump 2020.
Yeah. You're going to see a pattern on a lot of these comments.
Yeah.
And you can see in the background our mascot walking around. She's feeling awful feisty because she got groomed yesterday.
She went to the poodle parlor.
That's right. Mary Adams Childers said no, but I'm still convinced that the Democrats hate America. I believe they are a criminal organization. I still don't understand that the virus is as contagious as they would like us to believe, and why haven't all of those rioters and protesters dropped dead from it? They are hollering, screaming, spitting, and sweating in each other's faces. I just don't understand why they all don't have the virus. We must re-elect Trump. P.S. I love his beautiful wife.
Well, Mary.
I do too.
P.S.S. So do I.
Ain't it so?
Lindsey Rogers Hardy agreed with Mary, saying, I wonder the same thing. I wonder if there had been cases and they somehow overlooked or are overlooked. But if there were, I'm sure the media would report it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Big Billy Bryan said they never do. It's a celebration of their party on both sides. Not one soul is going to switch sides based solely on the convention speeches. Now, debates, that's a different story. I can't wait till September 29th. The popcorn will be ready.
Yeah, and there's talk from Nancy that might be stricken.
Nancy Pelosi. She may not be able to wake him up. Let's put it
She'd
that way.
probably be taking a nap
And
with
he'd
him.
been down that basement so long.
She'll be passed out with her head in his lap. So, Janice Parker, Lisa Newcomer Byram, Brandon Cummings, and Judy Salem all said no. They're voting for Trump.
You got me there again, Pap. Annie Myers Taylor said the conventions did not change her mind, but only reinforced her original decision. The DNC never once addressed the crime and destruction going on in our major cities, but rather they spent 4 days cutting down the president. The RNC, on the other hand, did address the lawlessness and showed some of the things people could accomplish in our America. If you base it on that, Democrats worth their salt should switch to the Republican side, not to go against your party or anything, but to cast a vote for a more peaceful America.
You know what? That's very well said, Annie.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks for sending that in. Donna Briggs Moss, Russell Curlin, and Christina Hoffman all said no. They were still voting for President Trump and the Republican Party.
Now, Russell's up in Montana, did you say?
Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming.
Boy,
somewhere
he's
up there.
Wyoming up there.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, Russell, thank you. Appreciate it. You, Christina, and Donna, thank you. A humorous exchange,
No.
if you kept up with it or read our Facebook page, a humorous exchange had happened between Bobby Hernan and Billy Bryan when Bobby said, yes, it changed his mind. He was voting for Billy Bryan. Billy then said he's picking a transgender running mate with no qualifications needed. He then asked Bobby if he was busy for the next couple of months. Oh, my God.
And by the way, it's both of their birthdays today.
It is.
Yeah, Bobby Hernan and Big Billy. Happy birthday, guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Big Billy.
Diana Concannon said the conventions did nothing about swaying her vote because it has always been for Donald Trump. He needs 4 more years because this country is in a mess.
Mm-hmm. And, just being honest here, Pappy, even if he's reelected, I don't know if they can straighten out what is going on in riots and everything across America, because until they make some switches in the Democratic Party and get the radicals out of there and get some Democratic candidates in there that have some, as we used to say, common sense, then I don't think it's ever going to straighten out.
Well, and I'm under the conviction that when he gets reelected, not if, when he gets reelected, that's when all hell's going to break loose. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Boy, I hate to agree with you, but man, it's hard not to. It is hard not to.
I mean, there's a lot of threats, death threats, destructive threats,
Yeah.
all that crap flying around.
Now
So.
they had a Democratic Congresswoman. What was it yesterday that I was reading? She wants to dismantle the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. Yeah, because of the slavery thing.
Yeah.
Now, let me remind you, Senator, that it was Abraham Lincoln, a Republican, that freed the slaves.
Go
Okay.
figure, huh?
Now go look at your history. Do your history, girl.
Did y'all see on Facebook where they defaced the Graceland?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elvis.
Now, come on.
Yeah. I saw that, and I tell you, in Washington,
It's a good way to get shot.
yeah, it
Especially
is.
in that part of the country.
Ooh,
so.
yeah, I think old Bryan Emerton would be right up there in the front.
Yeah, he's probably standing guard out there now.
Yeah, big Elvis fan. V. Allen Johnson said, "Face it, the Republican National Convention made everyone feel better about America. The opening prayer, the flag, all of it was just better than the dark, inappropriate Democratic National Convention snooze fest. Keep America great in 2020.
Snooze fest.
How about that?
You know. Twyla Richards says no, it did not change her mind. Trump in 2020, to which Brent Hardy agreed by saying it didn't change his either. Bring on the debates. And Vicky McClure agreed.
Yeah. Sherry Briggs Cone followed that up, saying she was voting for President Trump anyway. But what a beautiful, heartwarming convention it was.
You know, I didn't watch it.
Karen and I watched
I saw the highlights.
some of the Democratic convention. We watched a lot of the Republican National Convention because it was just a direct opposite from what the DNC convention was.
Well, and if the Divine one at the house watched the DNC show, she didn't bother to bring it up. I think I better have her convinced to screw the television up if she watches that stuff. So.
I heard that.
Lindsey Rogers Hardy said, to be honest, I wasn't a Trump fan in 2016. I voted for him because anyone was better than Hillary.
Bingo.
Now I'm scared to death of what will happen to our country if he's not elected. Ask my husband. It really ails me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he agreed also. Connie Crenshaw, Sharon Pritchett, Donna Toten, Mona Leverton Hardin, Judy Gilley, and Nicole Calderon all said no. Their minds were not changed. They're still going for Trump.
Good girls.
You know, let me stop you right there real quickly. And I don't know how much you listen to the news, Pappy, and it's none of my business. But
I don't.
I tell you, they're showing Biden ahead in the polls, just like Trump was trailing Hillary in the 2016 polls.
Yep.
But from all the indications I'm getting from your average everyday person that, like you folks out there that are writing in and telling us it's going to be a landslide victory for Trump.
I think so as well.
But I read something, probably Facebook, where they said, well, everybody on voter day, November the 3rd, Trump's going to show winning by a landslide. But, oh, wait till the mail-in ballots come in. Then it's going to be a whole different story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. I think it was somebody by Actimos or something like that.
Yeah.
Some left-wing liberal podcast or news organization or whatever they are was saying. Just
I also see yesterday where the Attorney General for the state of Texas is filing suit against the city of Houston because they are mailing out ballots to every household, regardless of whether you are a citizen, registered or not. So the state of Texas just said, okay,
You know,
we're filing suit against you.
And that's what it's come down to, just like in the Hillary election.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all the dead votes that she was getting. So
Yeah,
we shall see.
we shall see.
I don't care as long as he wins by at least one vote.
I like this from JC. Go ahead.
That's right. J.C. Whitmore said the conventions were all a part of some Broadway show.
Broadway show. I love it.
But to be fair, the DNC spewed a lot of hate and discord, while the RNC was patriotic, addressed the crime going on, and showed the opportunities that one could have in America. Based on that, I would say that the Republicans had the better, most hopeful of the conventions. Still, they don't sway the way I had planned on voting, and I doubt nothing will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, JC.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Well said.
Man.
No.
Jamie Flynn wants to know when Attorney General Barr is going to release the names of those he plans to indict.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that if he does, Americans will see who is the dirtiest, who was part of a conspiracy, and will make a decision much easier for those sitting on the fence. If some of the names I have heard to be rumored to include, then a lot of Democratic machine will lose their transmission and stop, Joe Biden included.
Well, they'll have to wake him up to serve him. So.
Wait a minute, Jamie, that's great. That's great.
Pretty
The
profound.
Democratic machine will lose their transmission and stop. What a great line.
Be stripping their gears. By God.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Barbara Cameron Carey said she is still voting red in November,
Wow.
to which Ronnie Barnett, Amisha Ward, James Graham, Michelle Purviance Brown, and Beverly Rushing Drake all agreed with her.
I'm still, Jamie,
Better red
Jamie,
than
that
dead.
was a great line. I got to remember that one. Lose their transmission.
I remember a time when you'd even think that Better Red was dead to get you slapped smooth out of your shoes.
Mhm. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Roberto Guiana said he voted for him the first time and will again. Cindy Gale Roberts Thomas said, I didn't bother to watch either of them. Trump already had my vote.
By God.
There you go.
That's the way I think too, Cindy. Sissy McCoy took the opposite approach by saying she was not voting for either one of them. We need someone else to run against Trump and Biden because I don't like either one of them. This is my opinion, so don't be telling me what I can or can't say. And there's a side note.
Yep.
Her comments started a landslide of comments too numerous to mention here.
Yeah. Now, we want to tell our viewers out there who make comments on our Facebook page, there are some that's going to take a different approach or a different opinion from what yours is. Let's keep the discussion very, very cordial.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's do that.
Just respect somebody else's opinion.
There's no use calling anybody any names or using any profanity against our viewers because
That's
we're all
true.
in it together.
All that'll do is get you blocked.
And as Pappy and I have said on many, many occasions, we will read all comments, whether it's good or bad. We're going to read them.
Even though we know who's going to win, we'll respect your comments.
We can only hope we know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's our opinion, and by God, we're sticking to it.
Jodell Weiler says that the Republican swag was priceless. Judy Salem and Nelda Pound Slater both said 4 more years, Trump 2020.
Yep. And Bob Baker took an intellectual
Oh,
approach
Bob.
to the question by saying, I always figure that the conventions are just giant pep rallies held before the big game. And he's right.
Bob, I love you, man. I tell you, you come up with some great thought-provoking statements. You really
And he's a good fisherman from what I understand.
Oh, yeah?
Too. So, yeah.
So he knows the bait.
I was living up down in Rockport, and we were supposed to hook up and fish on, but something come up, he never made it. So
Just didn't happen, huh?
he's afraid he'd get outfished, I reckon.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Kim Cates Clinkerbeard said, I think the majority had made up their minds long before the conventions came along. Yeah. I agree with you. And it backs up what Pappy just said just a few seconds ago.
Absolutely. Renee Cremian, Jodell Wilder, and Eddie Dixon all said the conventions didn't sway their vote. They all say Trump.
Boyd Palmore from up in Georgia said, nope. He's still voting Trump. Why would you vote for a Democrat that raises taxes and gives it to illegals?
Yeah.
That's a good point there, cuz.
By God.
Yeah. Now, the good one we save for last.
Always
Babby.
biggie for last.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, James Sullivan says he was curious to watch how both parties portrayed the America they wanted to see. Wow, wow, what a stark contrast of ideas. The Dems didn't really outline anything that would benefit Americans in the long run, and a majority of their time they spent bashing President Trump, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
The Republicans ran their convention like a Miss America pageant, glitter and gown. But at least they talked about the negative things going on and acknowledged they are supporting our men and women of the police department. They showcased some real-life people who have succeeded in accomplishing their dream, and that was good. The only negative is I thought that the president's acceptance speech was a little too long, but it was still good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think even some on the Republican Party thought, he went over, I think it was an hour and 10 minutes or something like that for an acceptance speech. And they said that a lot of critics said that was a little too long. But on the other hand, he outlined several things that had to be said.
Well, he had a lot to say.
Yeah, well,
he's been kind of quiet here lately, really.
Well, he doesn't get a fair shake in the media, so every time he has a chance to speak without being interrupted,
right?
He's going to say what's on his mind. Yeah.
I had a severe case of Bidenitis.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was asleep during the whole deal.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
I've been thinking about that word all day yesterday for some reason.
I hate that I didn't.
But
I mean, I've coined that as a pappyism already.
Yeah.
But
Well, there you go.
I hate I'm not the one that came up with that. That was good, darling.
That really was. We want to thank you for all of the comments on that, and it's quite obvious the majority of our viewers out there are thinking Donald Trump in November. I hope you keep thinking about that, and if you are a Donald Trump supporter, you're going to have to do your footwork. You're going to have to knock on doors. You're going to have to tell people to get out and vote because you don't know what's going to be facing you come November the 3rd.
Better make sure you've got plenty fire extinguishers and ammo.
Yeah,
You're
that
gonna
too.
need it. I have a feeling.
Let's take a look at some of the viewer comments that you, our sweet people, have written in to us concerning some past shows. And one of the best comments we've received came from Tuni Haha.
Tony, haha.
When he had a simple answer to the "Where is your favorite place to eat?" show. Now, he simply said, "In my easy chair."
You're right in my easy chair.
That's greatness.
That
Just greatness.
It's greatness. That's what they built those things for, Tony.
I love it.
Marianne Reese said she saw the video we were talking about, which showed postal worker dumping many crates of mail into a garbage bin. She says, no wonder the president is so adamantly against mail-in ballots. Can you imagine if any more workers did the same? Well, I have a feeling it's not a solo incident.
Pappy, I'm not so sure you're correct on that one. Good Lord. I saw that same video again yesterday.
Sickening.
And it just sends a chill down my back, What you got, Karen?
I was going to say you were talking about the mail-in in Houston being sued for the mailing out. Well, what they were doing actually is mailing out, what is it? The
Crickets.
absentee voting ballots. That's what they were mailing out, as absentee voting
Bulk.
in bulk.
Yeah.
And you have to request absentee voting, and you have to have a reason for it, being 65 or older or unable to attend the voting in person.
Sure.
So I think that's the real suit that they're filing in Houston, was they were sending out absentee voting ballots to people that didn't actually request them.
Yeah, over 65 or were not medically
Yeah, and maybe
able.
70. I'm not sure, but
No, it was
And
65. I saw that
And
same
you know
one.
there's going to be some moronic turd head out there that's going to fill it out and send it in anyway. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It happens in Houston. Trust
You
me,
ought to know.
Trust me, I know. Filled a few out myself.
Oh, my
back
God.
in the day.
A great big thank you from Grandpa and Pappy to Bobby Kimbrell and 2 others who have recently subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Welcome
Thanks
aboard.
to all of you, and start sending those comments in. We look
That's
forward to hearing from you.
Keep them cards and letters coming in.
Yes, sir.
Allison McCrae commented on our show concerning Sharia law. She said, I can't even imagine that the citizens of our country would even consider allowing this. If
I
allowed,
agree.
it would set the women's movement back into the 1800s. We'd all lose our rights. Bad idea, ladies.
Ditto.
Special cases.
and I
ditto.
agree.
I'm not wearing a burqa
I can think of
or any other
I
clothing.
can think of a few women that needs to wear a mask, but but not for that reason.
You know what?
Wait a minute. Let me turn you back on. Hold on.
I think we should plan a burn our mask day
Yeah.
and
Hey.
burn those suckers.
Along with the NBA and NFL jersey burning
I remember
day. Yeah.
back in the 70s when they did that with bras.
Bras. Yeah. Burning your bras. Burn your mask.
I was in the 4th floor of the White House Hotel. Well, I just happened to notice that's what they was doing. But I mean, they had a 30-foot pile of braziers down there, by God. Never seen so many bouncing Bettys in my life.
Yeah. I'd like to have a little stock in the brazier companies the next day because they got to go back and get them.
The hell, I was renting my
Replace
binoculars out for $10 a minute.
Well, there you go. Finally, today, Paul Westphal said he is a proud member of the NRA and encourages all of you to become members too. If you love having your guns to protect your family, we have to have an organized association to fight for our rights in Washington.
And in the meantime, drop the NRA a text or send them a postcard or a letter or a phone call or whatever and tell them we'd love to have them right here in the great state of Texas.
In
By
Fort Worth.
God.
Yeah,
Right.
in
Across the
Fort
street
Worth.
from my house and the flats would work pretty good too.
I heard
I
that.
would not have far to stagger to buy ammo. So,
It has been it's been a fun week. We're expecting more rain here in our part of Texas, and we understand that the southeastern portion and up north in Oklahoma, north of us, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama. I noticed this morning
they're
where you're
catching the
expected to
they're
get
catching the
a
nasty
lot,
part of it,
a
yeah.
lot of
And
rain.
and as everybody knows, that's right through Tornado Alley.
Yep.
That's where they get all the big boys blowing around. and
That's
stuff.
exactly right. Remember, if you have an idea for our show,
Yeah.
or you have a comment, there's a couple of ways that you can get in touch with us.
Yeah.
And we read all of them, Pappy. We sure do.
Pretty dadgum simple ways to do it too, by
You
God.
certainly can. You can send it to our email address, which, as you can see on the screen right up here, is grandpaandpappy@gmail.com. Or
Or you can send it directly to our show website, which is www.grandpa and the letter N pappy.com. That's grandpaandpappy.com, and you'll see a big red button just like that one.
boy, she does that quick, don't you?
I know it. It comes up about that quick on the site too. So
Yes, it does.
push that rascal. Make up a easy to remember password.
That's correct.
Subscribe, because we do work by numbers, and you can leave comments, thumbs
sure
up,
can.
thumbs down, complaints, whatever you want, because we read them all and we adhere to them all. So
Absolutely.
plus it give us something to make fun of you about, and two old farts like us something to talk about, which we're all into that. So
Yes, we are.
yeah, it'll take you directly to the YouTube page where you can subscribe, and by
You
all
got to
means,
understand,
do so.
Pappy and I sat on the back porch in our rocking chairs with a
That's
fifth
right.
of Jack Daniels and
That's right.
discuss and cuss. So
Cuss and discuss.
Shit, we don't cuss, man. What are you talking about?
that's it.
And update on the show shirts that are coming in. We're still accepting pre-orders. If you want to pre-order it, save yourself some shipping. Get a free glow-in-the-dark bracelet. And as soon as it comes in, we'll shoot it your way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Probably be another 10 days or so. Ish.
Now, coming up next Wednesday, as we told you, we're going to take about a week off to recharge and say goodbye to summer for 2020. We're going to be talking about, have you ever witnessed a random act of kindness lately?
Yeah.
And we want your thoughts on that, because We want to have some good news for a change to bring to you and let you know that there are Americans like the two sitting right here that do all we can to help our fellow man when we can.
Well, and being kind never really worked out for me.
Yeah.
I told the lady at our field office the other day, she didn't sweat much for a fat lady, and she slapped the hell out of me. I couldn't believe the audacity of it all.
See what I got to put up with.
Well, he told me to say something nice, so I did.
Okay. Well, all right. Pop. Anyway, have yourself a great Labor Day weekend. If you're going to be out at the lakes, please watch out for your kiddos.
Yep.
We do not want to see the summer escorted out by having to mourn the loss of a child. So please be careful.
We've had enough bad things happen this year.
We have. We certainly have.
That would just probably put us over the fence. So
it really would. It has
take
been.
Take care of one another. Keep an eye on them kiddos and tell them how much we love them. Okay?
Absolutely. And as we always tell you, hug your children and let them know you love them because tomorrow's not guaranteed for any of us.
By God.
Have a great Labor Day weekend.
That's right.
We're going to recharge the batteries, and we'll see you back next Wednesday. Until then, we want you to be very careful. Tell each other you love each other.
Yeah.
God bless, and we will see you then.
Have a great holiday.
Bye-bye.